You're doing it right now, but are you doing it well? Let's talk about the silent killer to your health, not breathing properly. Whether you're struggling in the gym, finding it hard to fall asleep or stay asleep, plagued by allergies, or suffering from stress and anxiety, understand that breathing affects every aspect of your body's physiology, and that optimizing your breathing can improve the health and functioning of every single cell in your body. If you're ready to enhance your athletic performance and sleep quality and experience a profound transformation in your ability to manage stress and anxiety, this video is for you. Welcome to the channel. I'm Coach Michael, founder of Maximum Health Span. I coach men and women over 30 to sustainably upgrade their health and fitness while simultaneously focusing on longevity. If that's an approach to health and wellness that interests you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to live longer and live stronger. The following video is cut from our free Maximum Health Span 7-day mobility reset. Make sure to watch all the way to the end of this video to find out how you can get started today. First, we take a deep dive into the importance of proper breathing mechanics. Then I'll walk you through a simple breathing exercise that will upgrade your breathing performance and set you on the path to breathing like an Olympic athlete, warrior, monk. Let's first start by understanding that breathing is a movement. It is a movement that requires the coordinated contraction and relaxation of several different muscles. And it is the movement that we perform more than any other movement throughout our day. The average person breathes about 25,000 breaths per day. And like every other movement, there are better and worse ways to perform that movement. The difference between an efficient breath and an inefficient breath is the same difference between an Olympic swimmer that's smoothly gliding through the water, barely making a splash, wasting no effort, and someone who's doggy paddling from one end of the pool to the other, thrashing all about, expending so much effort to cover that same distance, one pool length. They both make it across, but the difference in the effort and efficiency involved to complete that task is enormous between the Olympic swimmer, who actually knows how to swim efficiently, and the doggy paddler, who is just barely making it across. And I bring this up because when I first mentioned breath work to many people, they often reply to me by saying, of course I know how to breathe. I'm breathing right now, aren't I? I'm alive, right? And I tried to explain to them that, yes, you may be breathing the same way that that doggy paddler is swimming. Now let's understand that the muscles involved in breathing are the primary muscles that make up what's commonly known as our core, which is a term I'm not crazy about how it's often used, but we have all have a pretty good understanding of what we're talking about here. The muscles that make up our midsection here, right, that create stability through this part of our body, stability that is required for every movement that we perform. These muscles involved in breathing are our diaphragm primarily, which is a dome-shaped muscle that goes all the way around your body, 360 degrees. It's one of the largest muscles in your entire upper body. We have our internal and external obliques, the transverse abdominis, which wraps all the way around our bodies, right about this level, that acts like an internal girdle or an internal weight belt. And then we have all the muscles of the pelvic floor. All of those muscles are key to building stability in our core and are also the essential muscles of breathing. And like all the muscles of our body, some are stronger than others, some are weaker than others. Some are more or less flexible than others. And for all of us, we acquire some bad habits, some imbalances between some of these muscles for every movement we perform, whether it's breathing or walking or running or squatting. We all pick up these compensation patterns where one set of muscles tries to compensate for the lack of strength or flexibility in another set of muscles. And addressing these imbalances when it comes to our breathing mechanics, which in turn addresses our ability to generate stability in our core, is foundational before we can address anything else. And finally, without going into too much deep biology or chemistry, we all have a basic understanding that the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, which is facilitated by the breath, is absolutely essential for the health of every single cell and every organ in our bodies. We're going to first start by addressing what are almost universally aspects of breathing that are not as efficient as they could be. And our first target is what I refer to as vertical breathing. And for a demonstration of this, You could see this for yourself, or maybe just pay attention to people around you. When I say a vertical breath, you'll notice as you inhale, the shoulders rise up, and on the exhale, the shoulders come on down. And what this indicates is that we're using a lot of the muscles of our neck and chest to facilitate the breath at the expense of not using a lot of the muscles that are lower down, the diaphragm, the intercostal muscles, which are in the muscles that are in between our ribs, and those internal and external obliques. So if vertical breathing is the problem, which is often very shallow and up and down, creating a lot of tension in our neck and chest and shoulders, the solution to that is what I refer to as horizontal breathing, which is focusing on the horizontal expansion of the rib cage on the inhale and the contraction, the tightening of the ribs driving in and down on the exhale. Now, before you jump down on the floor to do this with me, if you have a pillow for your head or a pad like this, go ahead and grab that. If you have a yoga block or a foam roller, if you don't have either, that's fine. Just grab another pillow, because I want something in between our legs here, okay? Right between your knees. And we're going to start off here. Foam roller would go just like so. And we just want a gentle squeeze here, okay? You don't need to be trying to crush that foam roller or pillow or yoga block or whatever you're using. We want the feet flat on the ground here. Step your feet a little bit wider than your knees, okay? Pad underneath your head so you're nice and comfortable and there's no tension on your neck. The first step here is to gently push down into your heels to make sure that we don't have an arch underneath your back. You want to push down to flatten out that low back, tucking your tailbone underneath to set your pelvis in place. Should not be able to slide your hand through here, okay? Next up, I want you to go ahead and place your hands on your ribs. And I want you to exhale completely. Now, before we get into this, one quick note, we want to do all of these breaths in and out through our nose. So if you need a tissue to go blow your nose to make sure you have a clear passage, phenomenal. If for whatever reason you're sick or that breathing through your nose is just not available, this will also work if you're breathing through your mouth, but is much better breathing through your nose. So here we are, we're set up. Gentle squeeze of that block, pillow, or foam roller between your knees, feet flat, tailbone is tucked, low back is flat. Gently place your hands on your ribs. And I want you to go ahead and exhale completely. And notice, especially at the end of that exhale, that the ribs drive in towards each other and they drive down towards your hips. Once you get all that air out, keep in mind, there's always going to be some air in your lungs. You're never going to completely deflate them, but try to get as much air out as you can, extending that exhale for as long as possible. I want you to gently push down through your feet to raise your butt 1 or 2 inches up off of the ground. We're holding this position. Try to relax any tension in your neck, in your chest, in your shoulders. Hands are gently placed on your ribs. At the end of that exhale, I want you to breathe in slowly and focus on feeling those ribs expanding horizontally out to the sides. Inhaling slow and complete. We're looking for 4 to 5 seconds on that inhale. Pause briefly at the end of that inhalation and then exhale even slower, 5 to 6 seconds on that exhale. Keep blowing out, keep blowing out. There's always more air in there. Empty those lungs completely. Inhale, feeling those ribs expand horizontally. Pause at the end of that inhale and then exhale completely. Every time we do this, try to slow it down a little bit slower. Nice. Relax on that inhale, full expansion horizontally. Double check that we're not carrying tension in your neck or in your shoulders. Pause at the end of that inhale and then exhale completely. There's always more air in there. Try to get those lungs as empty as we can. We cannot fully breathe in fresh air if we haven't first already gotten all of the stale air out. Practicing this simple technique for just 3 to 5 minutes every day will have a profound impact on your health and athletic performance. But I encourage you to be patient. I have taught this technique to hundreds of clients, and I've yet to encounter a single one that has mastered all of the aspects of optimized breathing that we cover in this video on their first try. So I encourage you to save this video to your personal YouTube library and come back to it often. Before we go any further, please consider sharing this video with someone you know that would also benefit from this message. Someone who snores, easily gets out of breath, or struggles with anxiety. Word-of-mouth referrals like this go a long way to help us grow the channel, and I truly appreciate your support. To learn more advanced breathing techniques and to start your free 7-day mobility reset, go ahead and click the link in the pinned comment below. Go ahead and drop a comment there yourself. I'd love to hear from you and to answer any questions that you may have. And finally, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more content that'll help you live longer and live stronger. And I'll see you in the next video.